Right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining in. Appreciate you guys listening. We're back for another space. Do retweet the space, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. Lots to speak about and lots to get through. Core tweet the space. Anyone who core tweets the space, we will indeed retweet your quote tweets. Because these Gulf state Arabs are raging out because we've been exposing them so badly for being a Zionist prop, for being a tool for Israel, and they don't like it. But let me just get into that and the news in a second. In the meantime, let me retweet everyone's quote tweets. Thanks to Juban, Del, Mahdi, Siddha, Musti, Saif, and Chaz. Thanks to everyone who has co-tweeted the space. And if you can co-tweet the space, that would be golden indeed. Lots to speak about. Obviously, the main topic today is Saudi creating a coalition to stop the blockade on the Red Sea. We're going to go into the hilarious nature of that in a second. But just before we do, also, guys, check out the documentary I did in Iran. I think this one was fire. The one before it was actually good as well because it was about the Christians in Iran. But this one was fire because we basically went to all the sites that were bombed, all of them as civilian. And I had like an Iranian activist there and I interviewed her in the bomb sites. I don't know, I just thought that sometimes the genius just astounds me. But if you check it out, it is golden. Golden to say the least. Um, so yeah, I think it's a very good video. We were on the bomb site. So for example, what was on there? There was the Gandhi hospital that was bombed, the Jewish synagogue that was bombed, Azadi complex that was bombed. There was the aerospace center that was bombed, Sharif University that was bombed. Was Sharif University, did it manage? I mean, I did do the interview in Sharif University, but I don't know if we managed to put that one in this one. Anyway, that was interviews. You need to check all those out. They were golden. Golden to say the least. Okay, and let me see who we retweeting. Who else have done it? Thanks to Rex. Thanks to Flying. And thanks to Waktil, all of whom have quote tweeted the space. Thank you for quote tweeting the space. So let's get into this news. So Cook Arabia, because they don't have the ability or capability to do anything on their own, have tried to create a coalition to open a naval alliance, as you would call it, to open the Strait, or sorry, I should say Bab al-Mandab. And they went to America, and America said, sit down, boy. We're not doing it for you. MBS, your job is to kiss my ass, not the other way around. So MBS said, yes, sir. He went to all the European countries and none of them jumped in either. He went to all the Western countries and all of them said no as well. He went to all the anti-Zionist countries and all of them said no. And so this is the coalition he's been able to mount. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Sudan, Sudan, Djibouti, and Somalia. I mean, these don't have much of a naval force or a naval presence, but that's going to be his coalition. Because on the one hand, he apparently is saying to Trump, we do not want to escalate, we want things to de escalate. On the other hand, he's trying to bring this naval alliance together. Obviously, the naval alliance is failing because I read reports that the only way the Saudis are going to implement it is if America actually joins it. So they don't trust the rest of these countries that they can even get the job done. So that was the news. What else did we have in the news? I just seen Dan. I keep missing Dan's messages. We both keep missing to them. So I'll be free in 3 hours. Okay, let's bring Dan up though if you wanted to come up and ask anything as well. The so I need to okay, but that's when I interview. That's no problem. Okay, so the other piece of news coming back to it, as we were talking about, is here we go. So we mentioned that there's also been a major incident in Bab el Mandeb Strait. An Israeli media is reporting a massive explosion occurred near a Cameroonian flagged cargo vessel which was attempting to transit the Bab el Mandeb, which was forced to stop. Claims that, or the initial reports claim, a missile was launched from Yemen towards a vessel in the Bab el Mandeb at around 21:21. When I was doing my last interview with Karen, at that time it'd only been about 20-30 minutes. So this was obviously now it's a few hours ago, but that's that. Galibaf made the following statement. He said, the United States of America soils its hands with a new crime every day. The terrorist attack on the residential homes of civilians on Keshem Island is a continuation of the atrocities in Menab and Lamed. Americans have grown accustomed to making up for the slaps they receive on the battlefield by spilling the blood of the innocents. They will pay the price. Iran's foreign minister Araghchi said the following: Egypt is considered a friend and an important partner. We must all remain vigilant towards Israeli schemes and false flag operations that aim to undermine regional peace. The threat is clear, shared, and fears Muslim solidarity. Ansarullah came out with the golden statement. Cook Arabia, be ready for this. You're going to cry even more. Ansarullah's already slapped you up on the battlefield, smashed you up, that you've got no answer. This is what they had to say. It's hilarious. I was cracking up, my boys. They said this. The Saudis gave, and by the way, I did talk to them. They did tell them, listen, don't mess with your boy. I got Ansarullah. Don't mess with me, because you got Ansarullah to deal with. These guys are trolling. Some of these Saudis obviously got upset with me smashing them for the last for a very long time. And the Ansarullah had to respond. This is what they had to say. The Saudis gave Epstein the curtain of the Holy Kaaba, intending for him to use it as a mat to walk on with his shoes and to incorporate into his satanic rituals. Unfortunately, Islamic governments and religious authorities in the Muslim world have remained silent regarding the gifts of the Kaaba curtain to the Jewish criminal Epstein. I call for the formation of an Islamic committee to investigate the betrayal of giving the Kaaba's curtain to the Jewish criminal Epstein. And that was, if I remember right, it was the Saudis had given the cloth of the Kaaba to the Emiratis, and it was some Emirati woman, I believe, who gave it to Epstein, if I remember right. Gulf State Arabs doing what Gulf State Arabs do. Cook Arabia being Cook Arabia as always. What else? We have What else have we got? Yeah, that was a golden point by the Ansarullah. Golden. Continuing on with the news. Uh, Iran says they struck US Sheikh Issa airbase in Bahrain with attack drones targeting power generators, navigation systems, and support buildings. Obviously, you know they targeted Jordan yesterday as well. And we have got satellite imagery confirming direct strikes on US F-35 fighter jets in Jordan. This has been confirmed from visual evidence. What else? Apparently, there was about 100 Israelis who put their weapons down in um, Sadat Yemen prison. Oh, sorry, Sadat Yemen base in a mass rebellion. So that happened as well. And also, Poland are claiming Russia struck them. So that's kind of largely the big part of the information, and we'll take it there. Let's go to Andy. Andy, jump in. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, hey, yes, the Saudi Arabian coalition is very interesting. I mean, it's a bunch of countries that don't really have a navy, like in the entire coalition. Turkey's the strongest navy, and like what the heck are they going to do? I mean, like Kuwait, Bahrain, all these Gulf states don't really have a navy. Pakistan or whatever, they don't have a navy. And I mean, the U.S. already tried with their navy to go up against Ansarallah, and you had F-35, an F-35 slide off an aircraft carrier deck. So, I mean, if the U.S. Navy couldn't defeat Ansarallah, $700 billion in bombs couldn't defeat them, what's some Arab countries' navies going to do against them? I mean, these Arab countries don't really have navies for all intents and purposes. So, I mean, what are they going to do against Ansarallah's drones and missiles? Nothing. If it was so easy to defeat them with the navy, the U.S. would have already done it. I mean, so what are they going to do? Get a few little ships together? Like, yeah, it's just all kind of basically just releasing a statement, but for all intents and practical military purposes, it doesn't have any actual effect.
Yeah, no, no, totally agree with that. What's your thoughts about what's your thoughts about what the escalation that's occurring right now?
I mean, yeah, another ship getting struck. I mean, yeah, that's Ansarallah just showing their dominance and flexing basically that we control Bab el Mandeb and nothing can come through unless we say so. So, I mean, that's not shocking at all. And I mean, at this point, we're basically just waiting to see what Trump and Bibi's next moves are going to be. I mean, I feel like Israel is going to get involved in this at some point because, I mean, again, we know that the clock is ticking. I mean, it's going to be whether Bibi decides to do it right before his election or sooner. Because, I mean, there's no way that Bibi's going to let himself go to election in October because, again, we all know he wants to delay that to avoid losing and stay out of prison. But, I mean, Trump, again, Bibi doesn't visit Trump without asking for something. So we know there's going to be an escalation on the U.S. side. I mean, I don't see any type of ground incursion yet, just because I mean the weather's still too hot. So any type of ground incursion would probably wait until I'd guess, I don't know, October when it starts cooling down there. If I had to guess, that would be the earliest I could possibly see it. But I mean, I probably they'd wait till after the midterms, despite Trump saying I don't care about the midterms. I couldn't imagine Trump would do something that would get that many Americans killed until after the midterms. Because just imagine they go for one of these islands and like 1,000 Americans die, how much the Republicans would sink in the polls. That would just be like you can't really hide a failed ground invasion as easily as you can maybe hide some casualties at a military bases. Like so, that's gonna be so the ground incursion, if they do any type of thing like that, would be after the midterms. But yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a larger air campaign coming in the next couple weeks because Bibi always asks for something when he visits.
BB always wants things, no doubt. BB is without a shadow of a doubt Okay, what's happening with the internet here? Uh, Very controlling of American follow foreign policy and American positioning. And he was saying after the last meeting, it seems like he's got maybe, I mean, if I had to guess, it seems like what Trump said to him is, look, give me X amount of time to negotiate, and if that doesn't work, then we'll do X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, Z maybe meaning something very, very horrific, like, major escalation. It could be ground incursion, it could be a nuclear bomb. Like, only these things are possible.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, again, the ground incursion would probably be after the midterms. I mean, I definitely see them upping the bombing campaign, but I mean, we saw them bomb very hard during the first 39 days. They bombarded the coastal areas, and that still didn't during the next 2 weeks during this most recent phase of the war, and that still didn't force the strait open. So, I guess they can just keep bombing. Trump can try Pickaxe Mountain, but I mean, that's not really gonna. I mean, Pickaxe Mountain's even more buried than the sites they struck during Midnight Hammer, so it's not going to be super effective. It's the most fortified nuclear facility in the entire world, so good luck with that.
Yeah. Um, I mean, things just not working for the Americans. I said yesterday, right? I said the best America's gonna do is some kind of very weak response, hitting once again the outskirts of Iran, as in the southern part of Iran. And more and more, it's looking like they just don't have the ability, capability, or are risk averse in trying to go deep into Iran. And so the Americans are struggling. They essentially don't have many answers to the question. And this is why Saudi, or as we call it, Kukrabia, had to go to Trump and tell him to de escalate whilst trying to build this naval blockade. Because the Saudis are more stuck than anyone else. The Saudis know if they bomb Yemen, Yemen's going to decimate their oil infrastructure, their energy infrastructure. They'll have. They're already today. I was meant to post it and I totally forgot. Damn. But anyway, Saudi's economy has been devastated during this. There's been a major decline in revenue and income, and so things are not looking good for Saudi, and things are definitely not looking good in terms of their vision 2030. And if they go for a proper war with Ansarullah, they're gonna get they're gonna get hit hard. They're gonna get decimated, and so what you've basically got is they've got a scenario where they want to pull out. So you've got it where they want to pull out. They're going to Trump and saying pull out, but then knowing Trump won't pull out, so saying we want a naval blockade, trying to create a naval blockade, but then Trump's like, we ain't gonna even join your naval blockade. So they are basically stuck in terms of what they want and how they want it, and it's not looking good for them at all. Not looking good at all. And we'll have to just wait and see how things go because it's not a great situation for Saudi. This is why they attacked. Um, Wait 1 second. Okay, yeah, this is why they attacked. What do you call it again? The Iraqi resistance. The reason was simple. They know that they can't strike Ansarullah effectively. They know they can't strike Iran effectively, and so you got a scenario where they're basically resorting to remain in a situation where they just attack like the Iraqi resistance. So not looking great. Also, Israel is attacking South Lebanon. Um, I'm hearing reports that they are attacking uh, Beaufort Castle in Lebanon. If you guys have been watching our show, you'll know that Beaufort Castle is a Christian area and it was a castle built by the Christians. Also, Egypt has come out and confirmed that Iran did not attack Egypt. The Egyptian Minister of Information, in an interview with Al Arabiya, denied reports that Iran was behind it. The true drone strikes that hit Damietta port were sorry, two drone strikes on ships that were at Damietta port. And we mentioned earlier the strikes on Keshem Island killed three of family members, a father, a wife, and a 2-year-old child, and two other children were severely injured and they were pulled from the wreckage. So yeah, that wasn't good. Iran continues to take control of the Strait of Hormuz as well. Wait, what's happening with this guy? Let me just 1 second. Iran continues to have control over the Strait of Hormuz. Wait, what? Manko, why does it show you as a listener here and a speaker on here? Are you a listener or a speaker?
No, I'm a speaker. I'm up here.
Oh, on my phone it says listener. There must be a glitch. Let me quickly reset. While I reset, why don't you start with your thoughts?
I just I read today that the sort of secret Strait of Hormuz shuttle service has restarted. I didn't read any detail on that, but this was something that was happening in June, and it stopped more recently. And apparently, it's restarted where they're kind of during the nighttime following the southern route and having, I think it was mostly UAE ships go out and do transfers of things like the fuel ship to ship transfers and then go back in while it's still night so that they just use the same ships and shuttle them back and forth. I read that that has restarted now.
Okay. We'll have to see about that. I'm not saying it's not happened, but again, like that's not going to be a huge amount. Like just think about logically shutting oil out. You're going to get very minimal out. Even Iran, if the blockade, if the American blockade is in place, then they'll be getting some out as well, but it won't be a huge amount as well. Both. So in reality, not much oil is going to get out of Strait. Is it? Come on.
Well, when that was going on, they were saying it was about like 4 million barrels a day that they could move that way.
Yeah, I think that's an exaggeration. I definitely think that it was happening, but 4 million barrels is just ridiculous. There's no way they were getting 4 million barrels out. I'm not. It was definitely happening. I think it was happening at a lesser extent that you're saying, um, and they've basically, and so it just adds to the point that they've got no answer for the situation. The fact that they're trying to shuttle barrels out rather than open the strait up, does that not just demonstrate that they just don't have the ability, capability, or even ambition to try and open the strait?
Well, it definitely means they don't have the ambition. I don't think it means anything about capability because I've always said the United States Navy has the capability at any time to go in there if they receive the orders to. They just haven't. And I don't know what Trump's kind of reasoning
Why?
is on
Why
that,
do you think that is?
but maybe there's a lot of reasons they could give of here's the upsides and here's the downsides of doing that. Possible downsides are that they'd use up a lot of missiles, and maybe they don't want to use up so many missiles. When they were fighting the Houthis, they used a lot of missiles, so they'd have to use even more missiles. Maybe he said, Trump says, can you guarantee me 100% that none of our ships will get hit? And the admiral says, well, I can't guarantee anything 100%. I can guarantee it 99%. Trump could be like, that's not good enough. So who knows what conversations they're having. I think the U.S. Navy would be successful, but yes, the position would be as a defensive. If you put ships in there defensively, the Iranians don't have to sort of make themselves targets in order to shoot. They could be in a cave, they could be in some bushes, they could be in someone's garage. They just run out, fire the missile, fire the drone, and then run back. And they never really have like the present a target. So it's a very one sided defensive fight where you're just shooting down the things that get thrown at you. And maybe the Navy doesn't like doing that. But it's been what I advocated for since months ago, the combination of escalated bombing and doing that. But Trump has never really shown a very strong sort of will to really care about Hormuz nearly as much as maybe he should have. And even this escalated bombing, where he's like, "Oh, we're gonna bomb them so much," and he was using some very severe language there, it was really a slight escalation, but it wasn't much of an escalation. They were bombing mostly the same targets that they were bombing, the previous weeks. And then they threw in a few more, like IRGC bases that are a little bit deeper into Iran. Like, oh, here's a headquarters building or something. We're gonna bomb that. I really doubt. I know if I was in the IRGC, I wouldn't be showing up to the office. Like it seems like they would be probably doing their work somewhere else. Maybe I would work from home. I don't know. But going to the place that's labeled like this is the IRGC headquarters, probably not a good idea to go there. And this is what happened, by the way, even in the Iraq war and stuff. When they had these official, obvious places, they didn't do business there because they were obvious bomb targets. They would pull all the equipment out and move them into other undisclosed locations and do it there. So I kind of doubt that the IRGC is still hanging out in the headquarters. Um, and yeah, it's basically symbolic. He's not really doing much more. And when I heard the language, I was like, well, I don't really believe Trump anyway. I think he exaggerates. But I was hoping that he would do more of an escalation because at this level, it's not going to affect Iran at all. They don't care. They've been getting bombed like this for a long time. They've already accepted this level of bombing, and it's not going to phase them or make them, give up trying to control the Strait of Hormuz. And the only way you can do that, and this is what I think tying into the Houthis. So now you have all these different countries saying, yeah, we want to stop the Houthis from messing up commercial shipping. It affects all their economies to various degrees. You do not fight the Houthis with a navy. It's pointless to fight the Houthis with a navy. You fight the Houthis with bombers. And Saudi Arabia has lots of airfields and bases where countries all over the world, if they decide to join any kind of coalition, can decide to start moving some aircraft there, and you could have a multinational force that bombs the Houthis. And fighting the way the United States fights is not going to work for these people. They don't have the intelligence. They don't have the satellites. They don't have the ability to like try to go and play whack-a-mole, shooting at missile teams while they're setting up and stuff like that. Only the US really does that or can do it fast enough. So they're going to quickly run into a situation where if the Houthis escalate, they're going to have one option and one option only, which is counter value strikes, which means, oh, you're going to mess up our economy, we're going to mess up your economy. And I want to point out, this is unprecedented. This has never been done. I've been yelling at Trump to do this for months to Iran, and he won't do it. He's too much of a nice guy. But eventually, once enough pain is inflicted, once the Strait of Hormuz is closed long enough, once the Red Sea is closed long enough, eventually, no matter how nice everyone wants to be, they will have no other choice and they will have to start destroying civilian infrastructure to inflict the pain necessary to get these people to stop attacking civilian ships. That is where this ends. I don't know if that'll happen in the next 2 months. Might even happen next year sometime. But I do think that's where this all eventually ends.
Yeah, I think, see, the reason you don't have answers for a lot of these questions is because you just don't want to admit, right, the reality of the situation, which is Trump, not that he doesn't want to, because what was the reasoning for why he didn't want to go into the Strait of Hormuz? There wasn't on. You were just like, I don't know. The reason you're saying that is because Trump can't go into the Strait of Hormuz. Trump doesn't have the ability to go to the Strait of Hormuz. If he did try, he knows there would be so many loss of American lives. There would be so many ships sunk. if there was a full-on kinetic war on the Strait of Hormuz. He just doesn't want to risk it. And so the reason he's made that decision isn't because he's confused. It's because it's a military decision. He's worked out the pros and cons and realized that the cons outweigh the pros. And so that's why he's not gone into that. In terms of Trump being a nice guy, he's clearly not a nice guy. He's murdered so many innocent civilians. They just murdered some yesterday. I mean, this has just been the modus operandi for them to target innocent civilian places. You should check my documentary out that I did today. That came out today. Sorry, I didn't do it today. Which was again more innocent civilian targets. The real reason he's not gone for those innocent civilian targets is that he's afraid of, not that he's a nice guy, but he's afraid of the response. And to discount that, I think, is a problem. He is afraid of the response. Some of you actually, Manco, I don't know if you remember, conceded. You said that, oh, I think he's got a lot of wealth in these Gulf and Arab states and he doesn't want them to be destroyed. But not
Well,
just
that was
them.
one. Yeah, that was one possible explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. And and um, and it's not just those nations. You look at the Gulf nations, you look at Israel, you look at all these different countries, and he thinks very simply that I don't want to get into that situation. I don't want to, get into a scenario where I hit civilian. For example, let's look at what happened. He hit Iran's water desalination plant. That one water desalination plant provided water for 10,000 people. 10,000 out of 92 million people. What's that as a percentage? You're looking at 0.0001% or something. On the other hand, when Iran responded and hit Kuwait's desalination plant, that was 50% of Kuwait's water. So they and Trump understands the disparity of this, that just to go after, let's say specifically just the water desalination plants, all throughout a country of 92 million people, is a major task in itself. Whereas Iran needs to hit how many targets? Maybe 15, 10, 15 targets compared to hundreds, if not thousands of targets, maybe tens of thousands of targets. And that's where the disparity lies. So I don't think he's as stupid as you're saying. I don't think he's as weak, and not weak, but as in he's a nice guy. It's quite, for me, it's quite clear that the major problem is, the big issue is, they just are afraid of the consequences of what's happening. And by the way, guys, if you're requesting and you glitch out, just request again. You're not being dropped, because I'm looking at it now. The space is massively glitched. I can't even see any of the speakers on speaker, and I can't see requests as well. So if that is happening, let me just be patient, because there's major issues with the space. So yeah, that's what I think are the major issues. And you look at this Saudi-led coalition of 14, it's a bit of a joke, right? So, Manko, what do you think the reason is? But the claim by Trump or the Americans I'm hearing is they don't want to try and do a kind of naval operation on Bab el-Mandab when they are so focused on the Strait of Hormuz.
Are you saying that about Europe?
Well, both. Both in the sense of, I mean, they don't really care about Europe, is it? The main thing the Cook Arabia cares about is America, right? It's the American, from a naval perspective, that might make an impact, which I still don't think they'll succeed, but in the Red Sea. So the Saudis want the Americans, but the Americans are like, we're focusing on the Strait of Hormuz.
One of the problems with the Saudis is that they have not been particularly good allies in this war, because the Saudis profited more by the Strait of Hormuz being closed than it being open. The UAE very much wanted the Strait of Hormuz to be open, and Kuwait and some other states, but the Saudis had their bypass. They had Yanbu, and so even though they were able to move out less oil, they were selling that oil for so much more that they ended up coming out ahead. So the Saudis, instead of being team players and being like all for one and one for all with the other Gulf states, they were more like, no, we don't really want to help. This is your guys' problem. It's not our problem. And now they're saying, we have a problem and we want everyone else to help us. Well, Saudis, you've been pretty selfish for months now. You don't know how coalition politics works. You don't get to tell everyone else, I got mine, you go get yours. And then when you're the one in trouble, everyone now has to come and help you. And this is a common problem. The United States is always cursed with terrible, terrible allies. And
But
the
what if,
South has not been great here.
but what if they kiss Trump's ass harder?
I mean, that is always a successful strategy with Trump. I mean, even Gavin Newsom, Trump was like, "Hey, I really like this guy," because he started kissing up to Trump. So it's always possible. Nothing is off the table if you can kiss Trump's butt enough.
That's true. That is true. We got some breaking news. This is pertaining to the fake Gaza border peace. As you know, I've been tweeting about this a lot, and this is what Trump said on Truth Social. Today, the border peace reached a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and all other armed groups in Gaza. This is a monumental step towards lasting peace and security. This agreement is a critical step towards Gaza finally being governed by a new Palestinian government that will work closely with the border peace to help the Palestinian people. At the same time, Israel will have the security it deserves with Gaza no longer being used as a base for terror attacks. This is a major milestone in the implementation of the Trump 20-point plan. The agreement will be carried out in a carefully structured phases. As disarmament is completed, Israeli forces will withdraw and the International Stabilization Force will work with a new Palestinian police force to take responsibility for Gaza being safe for its residents and its neighbors. 1 year ago, there was a violent raging war, humanitarian crisis, and hostages kept in brutal captivity. We have made historic progress, and there is still much work to do. I mean, there's still a humanitarian crisis. They're still bombing Palestine, so that's just ridiculous. I want to thank the mediators, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, for their important efforts, and especially my outstanding team, whose tireless work made this historic breakthrough possible. The threat that emerged from Gaza on October 7th will never be allowed to be rebuilt. Under this agreement, Gaza will finally be in the hands of the new Palestinian government that serves its people. Congratulations to all on this amazing development that everybody said could never be achieved. Well, we'll have to see if Israel. Well, I mean, in terms of them getting the resistance to disarm, obviously, I think they'll just get them to disarm and then they'll just take the land. But let's see what happens. I don't see the Israelis withdrawing, but let's see. Let's see what happens. I think it was Manco who said about the International Stabilization Force yesterday, if I remember right. And that's
That
what.
was that was just news saying that Israel like agreed to it or something.
Yeah, yeah. And this is Trump posting it out. I'm still don't believe. I still don't believe that they will. The Israelis will just withdraw. But let's see. Let's see if what happens here. Let's go to I don't know. I don't know. Jump in. Give us your thoughts.
Well, now my brain just got completely distracted with all of that nonsense noise. So, what it really seems like is like obviously everybody's watching as Israel continues to literally bomb people and children. You watch these giant bombs that are made to like destroy bunker and all, anything surrounding. Like, basically, if this bomb is coming at you and you're within so many feet, everything goes. Everybody goes, and they're lobbing them at tents, literally makeshift, cloth tents where children are sleeping. So it's like, well, we need to get this one guy, but we're just going to make sure all 200 die. So people are watching this going on, and people are probably poking Trump like, oh, we got to get something going on here. And so maybe the Gulf countries are like, so what's going on with this thing? We've given your son-in-law these billions of dollars that he's doing God knows what with right now. You know what I mean? Like there's no peace there. People are still dying. You're not letting in food. And so they're like, hey, so what is going on with this? Since we kindly kissed your ass, like you said, MBS. He's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, oh yeah. So he's just announcing something else. It's kind of like we've crushed Iran 40,000 times. We're winning, you guys. We're so, you're so sick of winning. That's this board of peace thing. Oh yeah. So we're doing this thing, right? So then you drag on another 10 months. Maybe they can kill off another 10,000 Palestinians. And by the time he actually, like anything is even, he'll be out of office before any of what he just said actually physically takes place. He won't even be president anymore. So like this is taking on and dragging on for so long. This is just so stupid to think that this is going to be implemented. So he's just like, oh, touted, giving himself a pat on the back for literally achieving nothing. He successfully robbed every single country that gave up money to Jared Kushner for God even knows what, dude. How royally stupid do you have to be to give these people your money at this point? Like for peace? What peace? Which one of these countries thinks peace has been achieved in Gaza? Which one of them thinks that a humanitarian crisis has been fixed? Really? Really? And it's insane. This whole entire, you know, these Muslim countries are going to be so sad one day to realize that the countries that they actually align themselves with do not actually like them because ideologically, they're not like them. They're just not. And these kind of people are the kind of people where you'll be useful idiots until you no longer serve a purpose. And we will just destroy you at the end anyway. Eventually, Israel's border is going to reach Saudi Arabia. And what are they going to do? Because their whole entire country is infiltrated. And all these other countries that continue to invite the devil into their house are going to be sad when their children become a part of Satan's world. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how these people have some religious conviction about anything. I used to at least think, you know what? At least the Muslims, at least they stick together. At least, you know what? They at least they're cohesive, they do that. And then I started learning about it. I'm like, these are the exact reason why people are like, well, that doesn't work either. Your religious conviction is just like the Christian Zionist conviction. Your Zionism supersedes your true whatever you do have faith in, because whatever you do have faith in comes second to Israel. You have no real faith. Whatever they believe in, I don't believe it's real. Just like these Zionists, it comes second to money, to power, to the Epstein list, to the Epstein predator class. These people are all freaking sick. And they're going to be really, really sad one day when it comes back to bite them in the butt, because it's going to. Evil can win for so long. And eventually, it comes back home. So whatever they tolerate in their country, get ready. It'll happen in theirs. It'll happen in theirs. And I'm not saying that America something couldn't happen to America. We're in a really vulnerable situation. Not that I think anybody wants to come over here, but who knows? Who knows? One day when God is just like, you know what? I've had enough. Ultimately, these people who think that they have power can like overthrow God's will. That's not so. These people try to play God. They mess with people's lives. Trump's over here literally thinking he's God, and everybody's over there stroking him off. It's like disgusting to watch all these. I'm not gonna say the word, but they're queers, dude. They're queers over here stroking Trump off left and frickin' right. Like you guys are all closet homos, dude. Why don't you just come out and say it? You know what I mean? Y'all are on Epstein's list. Y'all are clearly like the more and more we start to look at the Epstein files, we realize all these countries that are like, doing the dirty with Donald Trump. Literally, y'all are in the Epstein files, and you guys act like I don't know. It doesn't really matter what we think because they'll never be prosecuted because they're going along with whatever Trump wants right now. They're going along with whatever Netanyahu wants. But to watch them seriously sacrifice other Muslims, other Arab, like it's just like it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. It's just weird. They should just naturally be aligned for their region because the only thing the West has ever done coming into that region is literally kill Muslims. That's it. And then Christians too, Christians too in the mix and whoever else. You know what I mean? But it's just like they don't get it yet. They don't see it yet. Like they're like, oh no, this will work out. We'll just keep playing with the devil and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know. Trump is just so full of himself. Like I'm ready for evil to lose. I'm ready for evil to lose. And it's hard to say that as an American because I sit here in we are a first world country. I flip on my faucet, water comes out. I flip a switch, electricity comes on. I sit in my air conditioned house. I feel safe where I live at night, right? People don't have that all over the world. So I would say that I'm fortunate, but that God doesn't necessarily love me more. You know what I mean? That's not what I associate that with. But in this country, we have become so used to just all of our little luxury things, all of our little conveniences, and we really don't keep an eye on what our government's doing out there in the world. And one day this stuff is going to come back to us, and we're gonna be like, how did this happen? But I can't wait for evil to lose. And that means my government has to lose right now. What they're doing with this war, with this stuff, they have to lose. That means we have to lose. And whatever comes out from the ashes will build up again and better. But I'm ready for it to just already happen because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being known as those people. You know what I mean? That's why we're looked at around the world the way we are. I had a friend and I started talking to him, showing him stuff, and he's like, this is probably why those people on the other side of the world, they hate us. I was like, you think? You think? Do you think they want your Jesus? Do you think they want your people? This is what they associate you with. This is what they associate me with. This is what they think of us as because when we send our people over here who are aligned with this, that, and the third, this is what we do. So this is why they don't like us. This is why we're hated. This is why we have the reputation around the world that we have. And I'm ready for it to just be over. And I get that people can separate our government from us, but it's just like at some point you're like the most armed country, armed population on the planet. Like if we don't show that we can take back control over our own government, dude, like there's no hope for anybody in this world. No wonder nobody else, does anything about their governments. We're so lazy and complicit and so like just in the tunnel in the zone that we don't even care to make right of our wrongs, and I think we've lost that, whereas before, generations before, many many moons ago, would have never accepted that. They just wouldn't. So we're not even like our forefathers. We're not even like them at all, and it's sad, but I'm ready for this charades to be over. I'm sick
Yeah,
of
none
seeing
of
us
our
go out there.
forefathers would have ever dared to talk about America the way you talk about America,
I
the way you
love
call
my
us an
people in my
heathen.
country,
No, you
so
don't. No, you
separate.
don't.
My
You hate us.
government is
You
not
said that
my
America
the
is evil. If you think that way about America,
your
you should
correction.
go
You're right.
find a
Okay, I
country
shouldn't have
that
said
you think
America is
is not
evil.
evil, and you should go live there.
Our government is evil. Excuse me. You're right. Separation. Absolutely. I stand corrected. You are correct. Our American government is evil. They use our soldiers time and time again to do the same exact things. We could be doing so much better in our own country, defending our own country. Like if we really, really wanted to eradicate homelessness and drugs coming across the border, like if you go to any of your cities where any of these soldiers live and they go to any parts of their cities, they could see exactly what is going on. Drugs are infecting them. We're losing generations to this. And instead of fighting and going after the supposed terrorist cartels, we're over there on the other side of the world once again where we shouldn't be. And now we're pissed off that Donald Trump signs an MOU and he breaks it. Iran didn't break it, but I go clean this dude's house every Thursday, and seriously, I have to watch Fox News because it's blaring, and I'm just like rolling my eyes to the back of my head that I cannot believe the propaganda. I love this country for what it once stood for, but my heart is broken. I'm broken as a person to see what people used to look at us as the light on a hill. People used to say that's the land of opportunity. People used to say, God bless America, and they believed it. Now I believe they curse America, and they mean that. Our government is so decrepit and decaying. It's disgusting. It's like the
Listen, do
smell
you
of
understand
stench
that
and
the United
rot.
States has supported Israel since well before you were alive? Like
Has
you're acting
supported
like this was in your
exactly.
lifetime that something
You
changed.
think that
It
I
hasn't changed
haven't
for
known that since I
generations.
was a little girl, what was going on with these people? I'm not one of these newcomers to the Zionists. I've never, ever supported them. Why? Because they killed my God, period. End of story. I knew that when I was a little girl and I read my Bible. I've never supported them. Nobody was going to convince me that you can murder my savior, which yes, he had to take the cross. You don't got to get all theological with me. I know, but you're not going to do that and then convince your children from generation to generation to hate me and that I'm going to call you chosen by who? Satan. So don't act like I am brand new to this game. I've been getting my accounts banned since way back when, buddy, exposing this stuff. This is a new trend for a lot of people. I get it. It ain't mine.
Thanks for that. I don't know. Great points and thoughts. Guys, if you can retweet the space, reshare the space. As you know, these spaces are massively shadow banned and attacked. So if you can do that for me, that would be awesome. Um, also, we have well, I don't know if, I hope I've done it right, but we've got some merch out, the Moral Resistance merchandise. The tweet is pinned in the nest. We've got a few different things. Obviously, I've got one which is what was it again? Leave Dubai now. And the guy just needs to edit it slightly because it's got the like black background. I don't like it like that. I like it to be like clean, you know, because you know sometimes on a shirt, if it's the logo and then it's got the black on the back, I don't like it because it just feels like you just printed a pic on it. So he sent that one with that, and I was like, okay, can you take that off of me, please? But the rest of the merch is there. I think it's golden. I think it's sexy, bros. Are you gonna resist? Are you part of the resistance? So if you check it out, we've got some hoodies, we've got some shirts, male, female. We've got the We Will Resist, and we've got it in the Palestinian colors, and then we've got We Will Resist in the just the golden colors because it's golden. And then we have the Moral Resistance cup. You can't see the thing on there, but it's because the cup I got, I didn't like that the Moral Resistance was on that side, and I guess it should have been on. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I need to change that one. But the mug is there if you want to check it out. And then we've got the Moral Resistance logo and hoodie as well. Check it out. Be part of the Moral Resistance. Support your boy. The tweet is in the nest. It is the merch. It is golden. The We Will Resist sign isn't like branding for the organization. So it's just We Will Resist. Because are you going to resist? Yes, we're going to resist. It's got the fist in the air. The same as the sign in Iran with the supreme leader putting his fist in the air. The sign of resistance throughout, and then it's just got the words of like "We will resist" in the fist sign. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's quite good. Check it out, and yeah, buy it, boys. Buy it. Give your boys some support and buy some merch. And if you buy the merch and obviously put it on, send it to me, and I will tweet it out as well. So do that to me as well and send me, and I'll tweet it out. Golden. I would say it's golden merch. It is pure gold. So yeah, oh yeah, good idea, Deborah. I will put it in the description in each of the things. I will do that. Yeah, thanks for that. Good advice on that. So yeah, check that out. Let me actually put it in the YouTube. In the meantime, we've got More Fit in the house. More Fit. Hope you're doing well. Give it. Oh, there it is. Wait a second. Let me click on this.
Shout out, man.
Yeah, jump in. Give us your thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah, massive shout out to you, Suleiman. Big time shout out to the space. Make sure you guys get that merch. Cop that merch. Show some support to Suleiman because he's one
Wait,
of the
More Fit.
rare
You need to buy loads. You need to buy like 100 pieces. You told me I made you that money, bro.
facts.
You said I made you so much money by my geopol. I don't know how to make the money myself. You should have
Right.
helped your brother out. You should be like, Suleiman, do this trade or whatever. I don't even know. I'm a brokey, yeah? And
No
my man's
way.
becoming a billionaire. You're
I
like
heard you were
Larry
the king.
Ellison now, the Palestinian Ellison, bro.
I heard you were the king of the UK, man. You're supposed to
Yeah,
be passing me some
they're
of that
part of the
gold.
resistance. We're brokies, bro.
So true. That's so true, and it's unfortunate, But hopefully, I know in the religion and spiritual life, me and you are very rich today, man. Like in this world, unfortunately, when you speak out for people, you speak out for the world. And the total opposite happens. But you know what? I'll definitely start texting you when I get a good gut feeling on the oil markets. I'll start giving you a shout out. Nobody else will get that shout out though. But yeah, man, huge time shout out to
Yeah,
you, dude.
but even before that, you need to show me how to even trade. I don't know how to do that. But anyway, let's move to
Oh,
that.
okay,
That
no
was a
way.
joke.
Okay, I
That
definitely
was a
got
joke,
you
though.
on that.
Because
I thought I thought
I'm
Simon.
banned from a few because there's IO companies. So anyway, do continue.
Oh, okay. I thought Simon would have helped, because Simon was always. That's the
You
thing.
know, people. They only a lot of people who have made on this space or in this entire field. They always wanted to just take, but they would never try and help you in any way. So they always wanted like benefits, but never help. But anyway, do continue.
Yeah, man. I got you on that. Then I got you. From here on out, if I'm about to make a move, I'm gonna start texting you and telling you what to do. I got you. So far, I haven't made any moves though, but I'll definitely text you. But yeah, just to get on topic too, guys, like, man, like, just a big time shout out to City, man, because I'm starting to see a lot of snake, a lot of rats, a lot of Saudi Arabian paid clowns, defending these genociders, defending the Saudi Arabia government, coalition against Yemen and the Red Sea. These people gave a piece of cloth of the Kaaba to the Epstein Islanders. Let's not forget that either. These people gave Jared Kushner billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars they gave Jared Kushner, and Jared Kushner is an absolute businessman failure. Okay, he's a failure, just like Trump. He's a failure too. They only scam. They only make money off scamming, off the crypto scams, off the stock market scams. They are terrible businessmen. Trump recently had to sell the Trump Tower. Okay, in many places in the U.S., he had to sell his Trump Tower to other places because he sucks at real estate too. He can't manage no building. He doesn't know how to flip it. He only knows how to accumulate a massive amount of debt, and the Zionists let him. But to go back to Saudi Arabia, right? These GCC Arabs are an absolute disgrace, especially on social media. They're kissing a lot of butt. I think you're right. Leave Dubai now because it's just dying. It's been exposed as a genocidal entity too that just sides with the genociders. The GCC clowns, are starting to be exposed. They're steady eating McDonald's. They're steady eating Starbucks. They can't even give that up. They think they're a different kind of race. That's what a lot of people haven't really touched on, but they do. When you go down there, a lot of them, especially the ones who kiss the government's ass. I'm not talking about the people who stand with Palestine because that's the majority, but you do have the few rats, right, who stand with the government, who stand with the kingdom, and bro. They are literally bombing Iraq, right? Why couldn't they do that to the genociders, to those who are killing kids? And then you got some morons talking about, oh, Saudi doesn't know that. They just owe it to their citizens. Bro, Israel is slowing down the growth of every single country in the region, including Saudi. If it wasn't for Israel, Saudi will be way more richer, way more bigger, way more influential, but it's not. Why? Because Israel makes them look like clowns on the world stage, and the U.S. still has a massive grip over them as well. Otherwise, Saudi would have been the U.S. of the Middle East, but it's not. It's just another target for Israel that they're gonna hit soon. It's just another arm. It's just another arm of the octopus. That's why they don't like the octopus symbol. They call it anti-Semitic, but that's the truth. Saudi Arabia is just another arm on the octopus instead of its own sovereign nation. That's the problem with the Middle East, man. There's not that many sovereign nations. They all call themselves sovereign, but they're not sovereign, including Israel itself. The only sovereign nation that appears sovereign right now is Iran, and Yemen. Believe it or not, these two are appearing very sovereign right now. And while we're all speaking to right now, you know, um, Israel literally has in their plans to take over Saudi too, right? So why wouldn't you want to stop the enemy now? Why would you want to wait till the enemy approaches, the enemy starts attacking? The enemy's already gaining a lot of ground in Saudi too. They got McDonald's everywhere, they got Starbucks everywhere, they got the people eating it like good goys, stuffing their faces with goy slop while their Muslim brothers and sisters get slaughtered. Saudi Arabia has the opportunity to seriously take over the world, right? And the only thing it would have to do is fight Israel, right? And literally it could take over the world because literally all of the Muslim ummah, the Sunnis and the Shias on both sides literally stand up with Saudi if they did that, literally. They have the opportunity to literally take over the Middle East, but they'd rather be cowards to Israel. It's sickening. They'd rather bomb Iran, they'd rather bomb Iraq, and IRGC people in Iraq, but never Israel, man, never Israel. Even though Israel goes running around with billions of their dollars and doesn't ever give any kind of investment return on that. It's an absolute disgrace, and I'm glad, Suleiman, that you're covering this, because what I'm seeing right now on the Twitter timeline is a bunch of bootlickers, a bunch of people. A lot of them unfollowed me too recently. My account, my main account, got suspended again. I'm starting to think it's not only the Zionists, it's these GCC Ziorats too, who are targeting us as well, unfortunately. So I'm glad you're covering that. I hope people get their heads out of their butts, including these rats. I hope one day they turn into lions. Even though that's nearly impossible at this point. But anything is possible. But I hope one day they grow up and they realize that this is a bad look. Attacking Yemen, attacking Iraq, attacking Iran, attacking everybody except the genocidal entity. What they do is they throw billions of dollars to the genocidal entity instead. Anytime the genocidal entity is in its way, here's a few $1 billion, guys, so you could get out of our way and we could sell oil in peace. Why is that the case? Why don't you guys just attack them the same way you attack, you attack Iraq, you attack Iran? Why don't you just attack them when they get in your way instead of having to hand out billions of dollars to make things go ahead? It's an absolute disgrace. Everybody, every person in Saudi Arabia, every real person in Saudi Arabia and in the GCC, they're sick of Israel. They're sick of Israel's control over their governments, just like America. America, we are sick of it here too. We all want to barf every time we hear about news about APAC politician slaves. We want to barf. It's the same thing going on over there. But unfortunately, on social media, they got these rats running around, and these rats have the loudest mouths. And it's making it seem like a lot of them stand with the government. That's not true. A lot of people are against it. A lot of people want a lot of these GCC entities to take action, take actual action. And they'll say, what about Egypt? Yeah, that's true. We've been calling out Egypt too since the very beginning. Egypt's been called out. Egypt should actually make a move. Egypt actually, in fact, got attacked. And when they got attacked, we called that out. We said, Israel sent a missile out there. And even though Israel said it was an accident, it wasn't no accident. It was more than likely on purpose to test the response that would happen. And so we call out everybody. It's not just an attack on one entity. It's an attack on the whole, coalition that's siding with Zionism and siding with Israel when it has the opportunity to literally unite the entire ummah. And if the Ummah was united, there is nothing on this planet, nothing in this realm, nothing in this space, in this universe that could stop the Ummah. But it's unfortunate. They'd rather deal with the devil. They'd rather give, Trump another billions. They'd rather give Jared another billion and turn their backs on us and make bullshit excuses about how they can't stand up with us. Look at Yemen. Yemen is dead broke. Yemen isn't as strong. Yemen's nowhere near as strong. Why is Yemen standing up? It's because Yemen believe in Allah. Yemen believe in the Ummah. These people believe in the truth. These people stand with the truth. That's the key difference. We heard that speaker, I'll end off with this. We heard that speaker yesterday talk about, oh, we can't take on Israel. We can't take on the U.S. But you could take on every other Middle Eastern country, dude. How does that make sense? You could take on Iraq. You could take on Iran. You could take on all these other entities on behalf of these genociders, but you can't take on the little tiny genocidal nation. It's just unbelievable to me. It's sickening. So thank you, Suleiman, for letting me share, and I hope everyone reposts the space.
Yeah, thanks for that, Morphe. Appreciate it. Appreciate your thoughts. Let's go to Matrix Resist. Matrix Resist, jump in, give us your thoughts.
Hi, Suleiman. Thanks for bringing totally true. Both
Did he cut out or is it me? Okay, I guess it's me. 1 second, let me reset. What's happened? Guys, is people glitching out or something? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I cut off for a bit.
I think yeah, the space glitched out or something. The space has massively been targeted. It's crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Retweet the space, reshare the space. Let everybody know we're live. And yeah. Okay, cool. Let's bring this guy up. I am sending the request to the people who glitched out. If you glitched out, I glitched out as well, so do just request again. Although people are saying they can't even request the mic as well. So I don't know how that's gonna work. But
I have to drop out because I'm going to a bad service area. Are you doing an interview with Larry Johnson?
yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, yeah.
Okay, so if I do drop out and you can't hear me, it's just because I'm going through this funky zone. I live on the outskirts, man, and I go in and out of service.
Cool.
So when I'm in my car, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go to what's his name again? Andy, did you have your hand up before?
Yeah, I did. I mean, clear. Yeah, you were talking about yeah. I mean, yeah, these spaces are targeting us because we are telling the truth. I mean, it seems any space that talks about these issues, I mean, calls out Israel, is going to be targeted. I mean, you can just look at some of these MAGA influencer accounts. They'll post a clip of Fox News a and it will just go viral, for example, and they can literally just repost the news, and you have like 10 of them post the same news clip and it instantly goes viral. But then one of us will post footage from the war, for example, and that will not get shared because they don't want certain topics being talked about, because they'd rather have like and nothing wrong with posting the news, for example, like whatever, but like it seems like some things get boosted and other things get deboosted, and that is just a fact on here, because like Israel critical, for example, is going to be a bit deboosted. That's just a fact. Anti-Zionism is going to be deboosted. And yeah, I have noticed more of these pro golf shills during the second round, golf state shills coming around during the second round of the war, since it restarted about 2.5, 3 rounds than during the first round. A lot less monarchists though than there were during the first round. I think these monarchists have finally kind of given up and realized that their dreams of the clown prince returning home just isn't going to happen. So I think it's a lot more of these people shilling for the Gulf countries and a lot less monarchists. So that is an interesting trend. Remember, like we'd have all these monarchists coming up during our space at the beginning of the war in like February and March. And there's a lot, I mean, occasionally you see them, but there's a lot less of them because I mean, because you think about it, you have your monarchists that are like dedicated, like the ones that are paid, like the big accounts, but the ones that aren't paid, they're they've given up because they've realized it's a lost cause, and I think they don't want to embarrass themselves because they aren't really as committed, I think, to that belief as I think the Zionists are, for example, because like I mean, the monarchist is more of a like the Zionism phenomenon has been around a lot longer than this monarchist phenomenon, you know?
Cool, thanks for that, Andy. Okay, let's go to Abu Bakr. Or is it Abu Bakr?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you for having me and Ahmed. Sorry, Salaman. Actually, I just want to make
Your mic's not great. Is it echoing for everyone or is it just echoing for me?
Yeah, it's echoing a little bit for me too.
Do you want to take your
Try
mic?
again, man.
Do you want to take your mic out and just use it normally? Okay.
Actually, can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
much better. Much better. Go ahead, continue.
Thank you. I just want to point out one thing about the Red Sea, Yemen, particularly the coalition of Saudi Arabia. Announced today. I think the countries that located the Red Sea, like my country, Somaliland. If you're not included, I don't think so. It's going to be possible. But also at the same time, Djibouti and Eritrea, that both countries that are the front, the Bab el Mandeb, and also the quite risky if they engage with against the Houthis because the Houthis face them and in the corner of the Gulf of the side of Yemen. And I think Saudi, what they actually doing is like what they did is just merely and announce, and I don't think there would be a force which they can, do something with what Houthis does because they struggle to defeat them, and still they are quite strong, and they also try to mobilize the tribes within Yemen, and they're strong and really, really bad at that. And we know what has happened in the last couple of weeks. And obviously, this is, I don't think, is a big major shift in politics in the region. And I think Houthis is still strong, of course. And they so far the trade in entire Saudi Arabia, trades, and of course they will hunt down as long as Saudi cannot, Saudi did not respect them and at least to put some way in negotiation to them. And as far as they're fighting, as far as they are active, they can devastate it more and destroy a lot ships and boats, whatever. That's what I actually want to point out here.
Matrix Resist, jump in, give us your thoughts.
Hello, Suleiman. Thanks for having me up. I think we had an attack on the page. Yeah, everyone, what he was saying is absolutely true. Both Suleiman, both Andy, and Mo, Mo especially, because it's not only that they're exposed in the region, but because they have seen their industries can be targeted, and not only directly but also indirectly throughout the region, and the events in the investments and the treasury bonds they are taking to have capital cash so their currency doesn't drop, so they're re investing their capital, so and that means they're not getting an interest rate or like 3% 5% a year, because they are just taking money to social spending. And like Kuwait and Bahrain especially, their GDP is going to be contradicted by 5 or even 10% if the blockade continues. And now Saudi, after 2 or 3 weeks, their storage tanks will be full because they have not a lot of ships on that side of the Red Sea instead of the Hormuz, because their normal route is the Hormuz, but now they cannot bypass it anymore until 48 days. And the US has, I think, 307 millions of barrels of strategic petroleum reserves, the SPR. And the world has like 1 month, maybe 6 7 weeks oil buffer until their industries really need to cut production rate everywhere in Asia or even in Europe and even in the US. It's not gonna be electricity is out, but it's like an industrial cut, which is worse than a normal recession.
Cool. Hassan, jump in, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so the Saudi coalition, obviously, I mean, they're just trying to make it seem like they're doing something. They're trying to be, they can't fight the Houthis, man. They'll get destroyed easily if it comes to guerrilla operations and things of that nature. I mean, they can bomb from the air and stuff like that, but you don't win battles by bombing from the air, right? You've got to get on the ground and fight. What's it called? The guerrilla fights, and the Houthis, even with an AK-47 in their hand, they'll continue to fight and deliver a defeat to these guys. They're not. These guys are not hardcore fighters, right? And it's just the same thing that Trump tried. And what did Trump end up doing? He ended up signing an agreement with the Houthis to say, hey, let's call it truce. I don't care about what happens between you guys and Israel. You guys can continue fighting. But between the United States and the Houthis, we're going to sign an agreement and we move on and you guys move on as well. So I think we're going to see something of like that. Perhaps maybe an intervention from, either the Omanis or the Pakistanis to kind of somehow get involved and work out some sort of an agreement. But it's just going to be another wasted effort. The real issue is they need to settle the Palestinian issue once and for all. Like that has to be at the forefront of everything. Without resolving that issue, none of this stuff in the region is gonna work out. I'll leave it there.
Solomon, can I jump here? Actually, two things happening. One thing is that there's no government in Yemen. The government that they recognize as state of Yemen is remotely within Saudi Arabia. And southern Yemen, there is no government that aligned to
Say it again.
Saudis at all.
I don't know what you
Second
said,
thing,
bro. One second, one
that
second, one second. Can you speak a bit slower? It's not your fault, because I'm not fully understand what you're saying. So just speak a bit slower. So what you're saying, Ansarullah is what?
I didn't say Ansarullah. I said the southern Yemen.
Hmm?
Actually, there is no government controlling within link with Saudi Arabia. At the same time, within the government that they recognize as a state of Yemen represented, it is within Saudi, not in Yemen at all. There is no army, there's no government, there's no institution, there's no nothing. Everything is come from Riyadh.
That's
And
true.
third thing I want to put on here, actually, this announcement, Egypt is outside, and I think there is something within Saudi disagreement and also Egypt between again, and this is that's way because Egypt, there's no way it will be out. Anything is happening with the Red Sea at all. And Ethiopia also have a problem with, and they say for a long time, we want to have to reach at least Red Sea and see to access or something, and require a long time. And Egypt is one of the most focal. So this is again, I think they would have a kind of way. The situation of now is just as a show off. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to that it's not concrete as many people think about.
Yeah, I mean, look, to be clear, the government of Yemen, the legitimate government in Yemen is Ansarullah. They basically control 70% of the area, 70% of the people within Yemen. As you just mentioned, I think this is what you said. The other group are basically the Saudi backed group, are basically, what do you call it again? The Saudi backed group
Virtual
are not in Yemen. The entire, sorry, I was trying to do a flipping poster at the same time. That's why. Okay, now I've done it. Sorted. Okay, so what I was gonna say was the Saudi-backed group in Yemen. The irony is that their headquarters are not even in Yemen. They're in Saudi Arabia. These people, and so it demonstrates that the legitimate government in Yemen is Ansarullah, and this is why the uh, Cook Arabia is getting angry with Ansarullah because everything they've tried over the last 15 years or so simply has not worked. And This is why a lot of these Cook Arabian Arabs are crying about me because I've been calling out their behaviors, I've been calling out their actions, I've been calling out the fact that they are traitors and they sold themselves to Israel and they don't like it. And it's funny that they basically have to make up lies and propaganda about me. One of the lies they made is that I was asking for money, where again, this Cook Arabian guy who's a Bedouin in a desert um, basically claimed it but never provided any evidence because it's just fake, it's false news. And listen, if I wanted money, I could have made a huge amount of money. I was offered, first of all, I gave away millions of dollars to walk away from a major contract on October the 7th. After that, during the Gaza genocide, you know, when meme coins were at their peak, I was offered 8 figures to push a Gaza coin that would have basically at that time they'd had the country coins that came out. It was like the Argentina coin had come out, and there was some African, I think it was Central African coin had come out. And so they approached me at the time and offered me 8 figures. They thought they're gonna make like, I don't know, because I don't know, they were gonna do whatever method they do with these coins, like, but they thought they were going to make what the Argentina coin made, which is, I believe, the guys in the Argentina coin made about 130, $140 million. And I believe the people in the Africa coin also made something similar. So I was offered that. And they even tried to sell it to me. They were like, oh, we'll give we'll take a certain percent of the allocation and we'll give it to Gaza and these type of things. And I said, no. So that's just false accusations, but worse than that, it's opposite of what the truth is. And let me be clear on this: most of the accounts on here are paid. Most of the accounts here are paid by various companies, organizations, betting companies,
Cookery.
Polymarket, various other things. My sole income comes from you guys. I literally do not have anybody else. Um, Even my ex was demonetized in 2024 and I didn't stop. I continued doing spaces, I continued posting, and I never changed my habits. Um, Whereas when you see with a lot of people, when any of these things happen, they go offline for a bit. It becomes like, a major issue for them. So just basically coming back to it, it's just sad that someone would make up something which is the opposite of the truth and opposite of the reality. And I mean, they're doing that because they don't like the fact that I expose them because I'm a Sunni Muslim, and I don't agree with Zionism. I don't agree with Cook Arabia selling out the Muslim world to Zionists. And so, because they don't like that, that's why they cry about it. And you saw today when the Cook State guy came up and was trying to make these excuses for Kuwait, he just got decimated because they just don't have any answer for their behaviors and for their actions and why they sold out to Israel. So yeah, they don't like it. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, they gotta deal with it because I ain't gonna change. But yeah, that's I thought I want to say that. But Morphe, was there anything you wanted to add?
Facts, like they're just mad that like the Cook Arabia's being exposed. Like it's so true. It's funny. That word is hilarious, because it's true. Um, like that's what these people are mad about, and you have been demonetized for 2 years. Ever since you called out what Cook Arabia does too. That's why part of me thinks it's not just the Zionists, like the Jewish Zionists. It's probably these GCC Zionists too. Who have been censoring us in a massive fashion because they do a lot of the things too that the Zionists do, and that's why they're like extremely mad. And you're absolutely right. Most of these people are paid. The sad thing is, when they made this app like a monetized app, it was really just monetized for Zionists, not people like me and you who tell the truth, not people who were willing to tell the truth no matter what. This app was built for
Yeah,
people
but
who
let's be
are
clear on
talking.
this. Like, I know, and this is the issue I have. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm demonetized as well." I get that, but let's be clear. there's a big difference between a small account being demonetized and basically an account which is nearly 1 million followers being demonetized. The reason I have 1 million followers is because I've basically been doing this for almost 3 years, almost every single day, tweeting almost every single hour. There doesn't be a minute go by where I'm not checking my phone for news to post out. And so, basically before October the 7th, I was part of the elite chosen class in terms of within X. But obviously, speaking out for the Palestinians and now Iran, those in power don't like that. So it's just incomparable when people say, oh, but I've been banned as well. Obviously, it's bad. But let's say I was banned and only had like 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers. I just create, like, for example, on TikTok, my TikTok account has been like banned. It's not moving. I'll just open another one. Like, I don't even complain about it. And same with Instagram. I just keep opening new accounts, although my big one luckily hasn't been banned. But what I'm saying specifically is it's a huge difference when it happens to such a huge account. Thanks
Yeah, because
to
I know what you mean. Like it's
Nos,
way more
thanks
on
to
the line.
Nosmad with the £5 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I was just gonna give it back to you, Moffat. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Like I said, there is a tree in the nest. It is our moral resistance merch. First of all, the merch looks fire. Second of all, it helps us do what we do. So do check it out. Support the work that we're doing. At the end of the day, if the voices aren't able to speak against Zionism, and X is a major front against the Zionists, then it just becomes a lot more difficult. So if you can do so, that would be awesome. Sorry, Muffet, you can jump in, and then we'll go to Andy. And then I've got a question for Matrix Resist as well.
I was just gonna back what you said 100%. Yeah, like it definitely is a much more massive level for you because you definitely do did like cover it every minute of the day, every second of the day, and so they're taking a lot. And plus, like you said, 1 million plus followers. The monetization is completely different. So they're robbing you. They're robbing you on an unbelievable scale, unbelievable like level that a lot of people listening they don't understand the metrics on the back end, but it's a lot of millions, I would say, possibly over the many years and the many views that you've accumulated. So it's an absolute disgrace, and I think when this is all said and done, something needs to happen so that this kind of money that was robbed from you could be clawed back. Hopefully one day. But thank you for letting me share, and I hope everyone in this space, you guys do share by reposting, by like buying Suleiman's merch, by supporting him because it's very very rare, like extremely extremely rare. I think Suleiman's the only one out here who has been consistent since the very jump. A lot of people do go disappearing, like he said earlier. So please do support him because that is the only channel of support and real platforms. Like real news is like unbelievably rare nowadays. Like this is the only platform I get it from. So big time shout out.
Thanks for that. Matrix Resist, I wanted to go to you. Um, I believe it's the Arba'in in Iraq. If you can explain to the audience the importance of the event and the implications of some if the Israelis or the Zios, which is basically the same as Zio Wahhabis, were or the Americans were to attack.
Yeah, that's also a good point because I think the political section of Iran that you said that has the decision to end the war, and it's not only the IRGC, which is partially true. So I think the IRGC also agreed to like partially have like a ceasefire and tit for tat again. Because first of all, I think they wanted to continue just 10 days like this, and because of Arbaeen, already I think around 2 million Iranians have already went, and in the next days I think another 2 or 3 million will go because many millions of people cannot go because they don't want to like leave their family if there is war in their country, and then they are in Iraq. But also, I think many other people from different countries will come to Iraq. But I don't think I think it's a little bit less than previous years because there was no war, and now this has happened. And then we saw the Iraqi government meeting with all political members of even the military and the PMF, and also the very pro-resistant groups. So they have a independent act to serve the national integrity of Iraq, and I think a response might be coming from them very soon. But I think also attacks on Iran's islands can continue because the USA has to do something if Iran attacks. But most of the time they attack first, so Iran is most of the time defending themselves. But we have seen some moves are changing, so America also needs to respond to Iran, because otherwise people will be asking, why is America not doing anything? Like, their parts of the fan base and social unrest in their countries. So I think if they continue 10 days like this, firing 10 or 15 Patriot missiles in a 10-day period, I think they would have less for a complete regional war to defend their allies in the GCC and Israel's broken shield of defenses of the region.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. Andy, jump in. You had your hand up, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people need to understand that there's a lot of people on this platform, yourself, obviously one of the most prominent ones, that have lost monetization. And like, yeah, just that's what they try to do. People make up false allegations because they want to discredit anyone that's speaking up the truth about um, Israel, Zionism, etc. The war, these wars, and obviously it goes well before the Iran war, and like that's what they do. They want to create division and make people distrust each other. And like if like you're in it for the money, going the anti-Zionism route is not the way to make money. I mean, you could just like, I mean, be one of these Mac influencers and get monetized. That's a much easier and like get paid by Polymarket. Like that's a much easier way to make money than doing these spaces and doing these interviews for and getting 5, 10,000 views an interview on YouTube or something. Like there's much easier ways to make money than by speaking the truth, because we live in a corrupt society where speaking the truth sadly does not pay very often. So yeah, that's just the reality. I mean, look at someone else. Like a lot of people have been demonetized, like just and you're one again, one of the most prominent ones. You've been speaking out. I mean, even before the genocide, you're not just someone that jumped on lately after everyone saw it and are like, "Hey, I'm pro-Palestine in 2026." After 60% of America saw it, you were like one of the OGs. So, well done there. So and like the people trying to discredit you are clearly just ops at this point. Like the ones that are trying to and it's like people, all these people from Gulf states. Like I saw you arguing with that Saudi Arabian person, that like Saudi shill. That was hilarious. Great job there.
Exactly, because I'm not someone who is sectarian. You see a lot of these, like for example, some Muslim people will just only attack like non-Muslim people. I'm not like that. I'll attack everyone, and so this is why they don't like it. They're not ready for us because we just don't fit into one box. We'll call out anyone and everyone, irrespective of what the situation is.
Exactly, and I'll call out Christians in America who are Zionists. I'll call out the Christians. I'll call out Christians in Lebanon that are siding with Israel. I'll call out Muslims that are siding with Israel. I mean, so that's the reality. You just have to call out anyone that's siding with Zionism. I'll call out the Muslim Zionists. I'll call out India for siding with Israel. I mean, like that's just the reality. You have to call out
That's why
anyone.
they hate us, though, man. Like that's why they hate us so much because, like, look at how we're calling out. Like that. That's why they hate. Even like on this topic, they're hating on Suleiman so much. They're hating on me so much because we're calling out Saudi Arabia. They're like, "How dare you guys call out your fellow Muslims?" You know, like this is where the Hajj is. This is where the Mecca is. But that's Allah's house. That's not Saudi Arabia government house. And that's what makes them so mad. They want to hide behind that. They want to hide behind the religion. They want to hide behind people's religious beliefs, and be able to use that to cover their cowardice. But like that's why they hate us so much, because we call out the fact that like the government and the Zionist entities still work with these genociders and are genociders at the end of the day, and they hate that.
Exactly, just like as the Christians that call it out get attacked, and like, how dare you call out Israel? And it's like, no, the original Israelis are not the same as the modern state of Israel that was created in 1948. Committing an ongoing genocide since 1948. Like, those are two very different people. God bless the original Israelis. God did not bless a genocidal entity that was created in 1948. That's a completely different concept.
Facts.
Yeah, guys, retweet the space, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. Lots to speak about.
So, man, what's going on with this Ukraine thing, though? I'm hearing Ukraine attacked Iran too.
Yeah, that was like a week ago, bro. This is what I mean, bro. You're not here every day, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. This was, I think it's like a week ago, like nearly 4 or 5 days ago when it happened. That's already been resolved. I think
Man.
the missiles
Oh,
must have
okay.
gone.
Like what? Like Iran retaliated?
No, Iran spoke. They said they're gonna pay compensation, but then Zelensky went to the White House, and so we'll have to wait and see.
Man, that's crazy. The Zionists always go scurrying to America. They always go scurrying to the White House. Everyone gotta fight their wars for them. That's the craziest thing to me, man, about these Zionists. They always gotta go scurrying to have either the Christians or the Muslims, like we were talking about earlier. Either America or Saudi Arabia. To fight their wars for them. Or the GCC to fight their wars for them, or America to fight their wars for them, or the UK. Like these rats, these genocidal Zionist rats could literally never fight their own wars. That's the crazy thing about this all. That's why I was asking about that. I'm not even surprised you're telling me this guy's going running to America. This is sickening. This is where all our tax dollars are literally getting erased. And so man, you know how bad it is. It's getting out here, man. Now, when a little thunderstorm happens, people's basements are getting flooded. People's electricity is going out. The Wi-Fi is going in and out. Like our infrastructure is literally collapsing here. You could tell the politicians for the last few decades has just been dumping our money to Israel, and just stealing and scamming off of our tax dollars as they continuously skyrocket for no reason. It's just sad. It's really sad. And a lot of this money is being dumped on these genocidal wars, trillion plus dollars on repeat. And that's not even the additional bills that they're printing. They're planning on sending more billions of dollars. Now they're even saying like, oh, like Israel's dependent on the Ukraine for specific like military infrastructure and weaponry. Like this is stuff you can't make up in a billion years. There's a massive money laundering scheme going on. The dollar is collapsing. It's getting weaker and weaker. It's taking a lot more dollars to buy things out here. It's just, genocidal Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, and all of them, just like how they like their businesses going bankrupt. It's
Okay,
looking like
bro.
this
Can you not do
country's
that,
going
my
to go
space,
bankrupt.
please? Alex, can you not do that, my space, please? But do you want to jump in with your thoughts quickly, Alex?
Yeah, thank you, host. I appreciate it, and apologies for any disrespect for the soundboard, but I think comedic timing is some sometimes we need it, when we're talking in such spaces and topic matters.
I get
Um,
that, but in terms of comedic timing, I prefer you to use your voice there rather than the soundboard. But jump in and give us your thoughts.
okay, listen, Solomon, don't be a fucking dick. Yeah, I know you're a fucking space host, but don't be a dick. You know what I
No, I'm
mean?
not being a dick. I'm telling you, 1 second, calm down, chill out. I'm just saying to you, you said comedic timing. I said, okay, I understand the logic between comedic timing.
Well,
I
I
have a
won't
rule
offer
of my
my
space. 1 second, I have a rule of my space that I don't like the soundboard.
I
So
won't
why
offer
you
my
so
opinion if you're going to be a fucking
yeah, I
dick.
want you to give me your opinion, but I don't want you to use the soundboard. What's hard to understand about that? Why are you losing it over that?
I'm not losing it.
Okay, so control your behavior, calm down, and just give me a thought.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, cool, go ahead.
that sounds good. Thank you, sir. I think the overall perpetual motion is that we know that the Americans are actually at for the first time ever, they're actually behind the 8 ball, where they go, actually, where do we go next? And the Iranians are very much on the front. They have got military and technical personnel that nobody even knew. They are very intelligent. They've maneuvered themselves into a very, very strong position where they may not have nuclear capabilities, but what they have is a very strong and robust military personnel, and they are willing to guard the Straits of Hormuz. They are able to strike within a relative kind of like um, distance to protect themselves. And I think the thing is that America has completely undermined everything that has gone with NATO and the intelligence services and everything else, and they have absolutely put themselves in a rat trap, and they can't get out of it. So what they've done is they've put themselves in a situation now where they thought they're going to boss the situation, and they're actually wimping out, and it's disgraceful to watch. It really is disgraceful, and that's why the United Kingdom would not join in this travesty of a military debacle. Because if you want to go back to 1982, where Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands wrongly, the United Kingdom came to the defense of those islands. And, with the loss of human life, we sorted it within 72 days. This is going on far, far too long. And it's for no reason except a suspicion of nuclear weapons, which clearly is not the case. The abstract that you need to look at it on a bit more of a geopolitical kind of like spectrum is that it's not the reasons why we think that people are going in there. There is other things that we don't know. Oh, excuse me, as plebs, excuse the French. I dropped my phone. Is people that try to understand what is going on. We put religion and nationalities aside. There's things going on that we don't know about, and we can't fix on these spaces. We can talk all we want, all night, all day, all morning, depending where where you're listening. You can't fix the problem that we're dealing, because it's that corrupt, and it's yeah. I, mm,
Alex,
I'd love a
Just
conversation with somebody
yeah,
on this.
Alex. Quick question. Where are you from?
It's all in the bio, mate. It's all in the bio.
Let's check, bro. Spot. No, it doesn't say any bio.
Yeah, it does. Manchester.
Oh, you're from Manchester. Okay, cool. I thought you sounded like you're from the northeast. That's why. Okay, cool. Alex, I think you mentioned that the UK hasn't joined, but the UK has joined, right?
Yeah, I don't
So
know why people believe Keir Starmer, the Zionist.
no,
People
no,
keep
sorry. So
thinking.
the new prime minister is Andy Burnham. Morphe, this is what I mean. You're offline, bro. You're not seeing a lot of the news, and then you're
Exactly.
like me and Suleiman, bro. Listen to me. So, the new Prime Minister of the UK, Andy Burnham, who is a Zionist as well, has allowed the United States of America
Andy
to
Burnham
use.
is not a Zionist.
He is a Zionist.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
But they're all doing the
No, he
same
isn't.
thing.
He literally, Alex, he
No, he's
literally,
not.
okay, I'm going to give you some evidence. So he literally said that if he was elected, the first place he would visit is Israel. Why would why would the first place you want to visit be Israel, first of all?
Well, where was the source? Where was the source of that evidence? And also, just because you want to go to a particular country doesn't mean you're a Zionist.
So it demonstrates that why would the Prime Minister of UK want to go to Israel amongst any other countries?
Why
It
would the Prime
demonstrates that
Minister
you're
of
putting.
UK you want to look? You're talking about cheese now. Eh? Is this a parody account? Is that what it is?
Are you stupid or just retarded?
No, I'm just asking a question.
Okay, you just sound like okay. So you're like bipolar. Okay, I understand
Oh,
that.
hey, bye,
Oh yeah, because you're just saying random stuff while I'm speaking. So
I don't know
Andy
what it
Burnham,
is.
let me educate you. Do you want to just stay quiet because you're obviously uneducated? So
You,
right, keep quiet. I'm gonna
oh,
educate you. Keep
keep
quiet. I'm gonna
quiet.
educate you. So why don't you mess around with the soundboard while I explain this to you? So the point I was gonna make
I
to you
want
was
to send you
Andy
some
Burnham.
diamonds. Give me your bank account, sort code,
Okay, Andy
and I will
Burnham.
send you them directly.
Okay, Andy Burnham is a Zionist, and it shows how retarded this individual is. And the first place he said was that he was going to visit Israel. Why would the Prime Minister of UK want to visit Israel over any other country? He's the Prime Minister of the UK, but obviously Alex, being the fraud that he is, wants to hide the fact that Andy Burnham is. Also, he said, "Oh, UK may not join." Bro, UK. I thought he just didn't know, but are you just stupid? UK has already joined the war. They've allowed their bases to be used. Andy Burnham has allowed UK bases to be used. B1, B2, B-52 bombers have gone from the UK to Iran and struck Iran. And Iran has said that because the UK has used their bases as a launch pad for strikes, they are now legitimate targets for us. There's been multiple statements on this pertaining to the actions of the UK. So I'm not sure where you're getting that from. So, Alex, the question to you is,
Yes,
were you aware?
ask me the question.
Yeah, I'm just about to. Alex, were you aware of these B1, B2, B-52 bombers that had gone from the UK to strike Iran? Were you aware of Iran's response pertaining to those strikes?
That didn't happen. The
Which,
B-52, that is absolute nonsense. You're absolute creating.
what did happen? Which bit? The first
The
bit or
B
the second bit or both bits?
the B-52s are
No, no,
from
I'm asking
nine
you. I just want to understand what you said, and then I do
the
continue
nine
with the.
the from the 1950s. They have not flown for decades. You're talking shit, mate. They have not gone to Iran to bomb them. You're talking absolute
So
fucking
Hey, you're
you're
talking
bollocks.
saying
shit
one
too.
second, one second,
You're
Alex. Are you
talking
saying
bollocks.
okay,
You're
Alex?
talking
Are you saying B1 bombers have not gone from the UK to Iran?
no. Have the fuck. You're talking
Okay.
shit.
So you're talking shit because I'll just read this to you right now. I'll actually even send you an image. Not send you an image. I'm gonna put it in the nest just to show how retarded Alex is. So the first one is we had
Why
reports
are
on the
you
20.
speaking in a church hall somewhere?
Wait, shut up and listen, boy. You're on your daddy's show and he's going to educate you because you've never been educated before. Right. So, coming back to it, what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by this individual, I'm going to put it in the nest right now for you guys and educate this retard. So, the first one is B1 bombers heading from the UK to Iran. This was on the 23rd of July. The second one is the UK's Fairford Air Base sending B1 bombers to Iran. I'm now going to get the statement of Iran, multiple statements. If you've been, obviously, everyone in the space, by the way, knows about this. They've heard the statements from Iran, they've heard the statements from Iran, and the fact that the IRGC were not happy with this. and Iran wasn't happy with this, and the fact that the bombers were used. This happened immediately after, what's his name again? Andy Burnham got placed into the position. So here we go. Here's the first statement. This is from the senior Iranian MP Ibrahim Azizi. And there's many more examples of this. There's a plethora of evidence. Let me put this one in the next as well. Wow, this is what happens when you finally get Zios in the spaces. They're just not ready for it. They just talk so much stupidity. Let me just put this in the nest. And I'm going to read it. And he says, the era of Sykes-Picot is long over. The day is not far when you will lose Diego Garcia like your other colonies. The UK would be wise to reflect on the fragility of its own borders and to recognize that Iran's capabilities extend beyond far beyond military operations. And there is a state, this was from Sky News, which was, let me put the Sky News one on for you, because this was in response to Iran saying that UK would now be a legitimate target. Sky News were reporting that, well, UK said, we're ready with our allies to defend if Iran was to respond to that. So that evidence is in the nest. Alex, do you want to go and read it? Okay, Alex is maybe reading
Alex
that.
dropped his crack pipe. He
No,
won't
Alex is
no,
take it
probably
out.
reading. Alex, do you
you
want to
did.
read it? Do you want to read
Yeah,
that in the
no,
nest? Do you want
you
to
did a
read? Do
red.
you want to read it? Do
You
you want
did
to
a
read
red
that,
pedal.
Alex? Alex, do
You
you want to
did
read
a.
it?
You
Alex, do you
did a
want to read
red.
it?
You did a red pedal. So
Alex, did you read it?
you did a red pedal.
Did you read the evidence in the nest?
You did a red pedal.
Okay, so you didn't read the evidence. Can you read?
You did a red pedal.
Alex, your brain is the shape of a red pebble.
You did a red pedal. So
Okay,
this is the type
he's
of.
just retarded. He's just retarded. So you can say, he did a red pebble. He did a red pebble. Their brain malfunctions. As soon as you give them evidence, their brain malfunctions. This is what happens when you have Zionists here. Their brain malfunctions. They're not used to evidence. They're not used to data. They're not used to information. This is what happens to Zionists. Their brains malfunction. By the way, guys, if you're on the second channel, come across to the first channel. The link is in the nest. Come across there. We will be moving across there because we will be having Larry Johnson coming on in 2 minutes. Why is it everyone starts requesting as soon as we're about to end? Um, what I recommend is if you want to contribute to the conversation, always come at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when we start this space. That's when we go through this information. And that way you won't miss out. So make sure you come at 6 p.m. Eastern, because I can see a few people requesting now. I did want to speak to them. I'm assuming they're Zios, because Zios, when they see one Zio, it's like Cook Arabia. When Cook Arabia sees one cook getting smashed, they all want to come. You saw that yesterday, and we just kept decimating them. And it's the same with the Zios, because remember, it's the Zio Cook Arabia Alliance. And so I can see a few Zios requesting. And all I gotta say is just make sure you come tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Oh crap, there's two of me. Let me take that off. Okay. And make sure you come then. And then we will deal with that issue and decimate you like we decimated this individual who literally did not know what day it was, did not know what was going on. And this is it. This is the problem with Zios. Okay, guys, if you're on the second channel, I'm about to end. Wait, what's going on here? I'm about to end that channel, come across to the main channel, the Moral Resistance channel, where we will be actually, are we having Larry on? I kind of forgot to message him early. Okay, cool. Should be good. Why did I say yesterday? I thought I messaged. Why did I say yesterday? Oh yeah, because it's the next day here. I was thinking, did I forget? Okay, I'm ending it now. Come across.